Next week for all... And welcome to another edition of the Jerry Lawler Show. We got a good one for you today. We want you to stay tuned for the entire 30 minutes. You know, when we first started doing this program, the general manager here at Channel 5, his name is Ron Clayman. He said, I'll let you have a Sunday show as long as it's not like the Saturday show. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He said, well, we don't want any wrestling, and we don't want any fights on there. So we had to promise him when we first started doing the show that there would no outbreaks. There would be not only no fighting among them. We did have a small fight right over here in the audience earlier. No, we didn't. But we had to promise him there would be no fights. Today is going to be tough to keep that promise because our one-on-one guest is going to be Brickhouse Brown. And so things could get out of hand, so you better stay tuned for that. We're going to be talking with Brickhouse Brown a little bit later on here on the show. We're also going to be talking to Mike Glenn, the Mid-South boxing promoter, and he's brought a young man along with him, and his name is Greg Dixon. He's going to be involved in an upcoming boxing match here in the city coming up shortly. Also, we're going to tell you a little bit about Lawler's Army, how you can get in touch with us and line up some benefit softball games. Plus, we're going to be going over all the action that's going to be taking place at the Mid-South Coliseum tomorrow night, which is super card down there. All that plus some other things. We're going to let some of these people here insult Brickhouse in a little bit. That should be fun, too. So you stay with us. We'll be right back with it after these words.
Transmission trouble, you Jerry, please don't hit me, please. I'm on my way to Danny Dunn's right now. I know Dunn's will fix my transmission right in the original price, but this is my wife's car, Jerry, and it just won't go.
It won't go?
No, it won't.
Well, you know they got free towing if they do the job, but I'm going to save you the trouble.
Yes.
Turn around, hold that wheel.
Yes, sir.
You want to go to Dunn's?
Yes, sir.
Here you go.
Hurry to Dunn's Transmission Service, now 7 convenient locations.
Remember, I'll fix your transmission right and at a reasonable price.
I get better news from WMC 79 than any other radio station in town. They're the biggest and the best. WMC 79 gives me more than facts and figures. They have color weather radar and the only helicopter traffic reports in town. They let me know what's happening and how it's going to affect me. Whether it's money, sports, politics, or weather. I know I'm going to be up to date if I listen to WMC 79. I depend on it.
Hey, I'm Willard Scott, and there's some really great values on Singer Furniture at Fleming Fine Furniture, where my pal Jimmy Fleming has these values for you.
Our selection of Singer bedrooms can't be beat. Pine Country Charm at $448. Choose contemporary oak, traditional oak, or cherry for $6.99. This suit's $7.88, and the Oriental Classic at $8.99.
Hey, that's great, Jimmy. And when you're at Fleming's, look for this tag, where everything in the store is reduced.
Except Willard and me.
At Amro Music Stores, there are as many styles of pianos as there are styles of music.
And from now till the end of the month, find great values on new and used pianos during Amro's year-end clearance sale.
So if you want to tickle the ivories in a grand style, come to Amro Music Stores. Amro helps you make beautiful music, no matter what kind of music you think is beautiful.
Poplar, South Perkins, and Austin Peay.
Okay, we are back on the show now, and, oh, you don't have to clap now, but you can if you want to. It doesn't matter. Come on. We're back, and ordinarily this is what we call our one-on-one segment, and I usually have a guest who is a very amiable type person that is sitting here next to me, and it's usually a pleasurable interview. Today, I'm sure, is not going to be that situation because our one-on-one guest is in the ring right over there, and as I said, the station manager has made me promise that there'll be no kind of commotion here. We'll save that for tomorrow night at the Mid-South Coliseum. But right now we're going to talk with Brickhouse Brown, who, as I said, is our guest today. And first of all, Brickhouse, I would like to... do we have the footage, Bob? Instead of even talking to him first, I would like to, if we could, show a piece of video, just a little piece of video of a Southern Heavyweight title match I was involved in yesterday on television. And Don Bass got a little unexpected, and I don't know if it was uninvited or not. help from Brickhouse. And so that you can't deny this, I'd like to run this piece of footage if we could right now.
Oh, Lawler shoved into the referee by Don Bass. Jerry Calhoun is down. Jerry Lawler back up on his feet. He's got Don Bass in the corner.
Referee still down. Brickhouse Brown ought to be in. Well, the referee's not up.
Referee's down. You got to have a disqualification here.
Brickhouse. Okay. Now, Brickhouse, what do you got to say about that? What was your thinking in that? I mean, I'm out here having a title match with Don Bass. I mean, was this your idea of you thought you were going to help him win the title or something like that? You thought you'd get away with that?
No, first of all, let me tell you something.
Well, I don't know if you might ask me something. I don't think you could tell me anything.
First of all, you owe me an apology for hanging around in this studio to come on this show.
I owe you an apology. Well, I hope you're not going to stand there and wait for it, because if you do, it's going to be a pretty boring segment.
See, you put your hands on me, Jerry Lawler. Nobody, never, ever touch me unless I want them to. And I'm talking about a young, lovely tenderoni. And you don't look anything like lovely. So you put your hands on me, I'll take it into my own hands. I'm not going to the president. I'm not going to the AWA. I do what I see fit to do, what I do best. And that's take people's head off, and you know what I'm talking about.
I want to ask you about your referee position. Now, you came out on television. You claimed that somebody came to you and said that they didn't want you to wrestle anymore, that they wanted you to be a referee. Is that what you're claiming to be?
Well, don't act like you have amnesia. You know what's going on. You probably was the main one behind the conspiracy to get me out of here as a referee.
Oh, I'm sure you had big
conspiracy. Yeah, because you remember when I came here in '84. Yeah, I was young and upstart then, but I was impressive then. And since I came back, you know that I've been all over the world in every major arena, thumping, bumping, stumping people at will. So when I got here, you knew that you were the king of the mountain and I can topple you off. So you had your clout pull to cut me out of wrestling and put a referee shirt on me.
I don't even remember when you came here. I don't even remember seeing you wrestle. All I can remember is the first thing I remember about you is seeing you referee the Southern Tag Team Tournament down at the Coliseum. And in my opinion, you're the jerk that cost Dundee and I the Southern Tag Team titles. That's all I know by your horrible refereeing down there.
So what I set out to do was right. I got your attention, didn't I?
Oh, so now you're admitting that that's what you did, that you were doing.
See, I got your attention because I felt like you was behind the conspiracy. You and every other wrestler around here that didn't want to see me, because you know without a doubt, Jerry Lawler, I'm your worst nightmare.
No. You're going to find out what a nightmare is like come tomorrow night. As I said, you know, what you need to do is you need to give a little phone call to Austin Idol. You need to find out what happened to Tommy Rich, and you need to find out what happened to Paul Dangerly. And you need to check on these people, because that's exactly what can happen to you.
Let me just say one thing, Jerry Lawler. You don't impress me. You might impress all these people out here, because all of them are, like I said, a bunch of hillbillies. But let me tell you something right now. You don't impress me, you understand? You impress me in the ring. You done took everybody else out that you came against, true enough, but you ain't never took me out.
Well, that's right. A young lady right here said you hadn't been up against me. We'll find out who takes who out tomorrow night at the Coliseum. What I'd like to do right now, if there are any people here in the audience, you know, you had some pretty disparaging remarks to say about these people, but there's a fine audience here today, and they've got some questions that they would like to ask. You want to ask? You're going to ask the first? What's your name? Tim, go ahead. You got a question for Brickhouse Brown?
Brickhouse, I've seen you wrestle before, and I know you're a fairly decent wrestler. But, you know, I still kind of find it hard to believe why your attitude has changed, because I didn't ever see Lawler do anything to you. I mean, you just, out of the blue, changed your attitude. And
First of all, who made you an expert to call me a fairly decent wrestler? Let me tell you something right now. Fairly decent, brother, I have been all over the world, and Jerry Lawler knows it. All the other people around here know it. You've seen me in other places. You admit it to yourself. And you know I'm better than fairly decent. I'm a superstar.
What about right down here? What's your name, young man?
Michael Hardiman.
All right, Michael, what's your question?
Do you really think that you could trust a jerk like Austin Idol?
Let me tell you something. I reached out my hand to Austin Idol, and he promised me one thing. I said, look, All I want to do is just get a piece of Jerry Lawler. You hell up on Bill the Jerk Dundee. Let me have King Redneck. Austin Idol promised me that.
Superstore.
Well, you know, he brought up a good point there. I don't know if you happened to see the film yesterday of Austin Idol deserting his manager, Paul Dangerly, right there in the ring. Now, that's his big buddy. That's his big pal. That's his manager. If he'll walk out on him, what do you think he'll do to you?
Well, first of all, I'm not Paul Dangerly. I can handle my end of the load. You understand? He won't have to walk anywhere. We'll do the walking together when we leave you land.
Well, as I said, that's why they got wrestling matches, and that's why we're going to have one tomorrow night. And we'll just see if you're more than fairly decent, because I think I have to agree with Tim over there. I think that's all you are, and I'm going to prove it to you tomorrow night.
Well, let me tell you something. You got to bring some to get some.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, we just happen to have, and I really hate to do this, but just for being on the show, we ordinarily, as everybody knows, our guests get these fine gifts, and Brickhouse is going to be no exception from the fine people over at Nike. Here's a tote bag full of all sorts of just nice things in there. I just happened to be going through there a minute ago. There's a baseball that I would like to beamed him with there. You're going to need this Monday night. Some headache pain relievers there from the people at Goodies and from the people at Bad Influence. This color fits you nicely, too. There. Sent you over a T-shirt. You can have that. And also from the fine people at Alfred's down on Beale Street. There's a gift certificate good for lunch for two. So now you won't have to wash dishes afterwards to pay for your lunch. Brickhouse Brown on the show there. We'll see him tomorrow night. Thank you for being here, Brickhouse, and we want to thank you for being here, and we're going to be right back with more of the show after these words.
Why didn't you Midas-size the brakes? Why didn't you Midas-size the brakes?
Midas-size your brakes and get it right the first time.
Why didn't you Midas-size the brakes? When whoever seen New England through with you.
I used to think being a country singer was all glamour and bright lights. But you know, it's also hard work. And once in a while, those bright lights can give you a headache. That's why I always carry Goodies headache powders.
When whoever seen New England through with you.
Because Goodies works fast when I need it. And when you work for a living, sometimes you're going to need it.
Imagine twice as many sparkling glasses, twice as much silverware, twice as many clean dishes. The simple truth is the same amount of ivory liquid can clean about twice as much as the average bargain brand. Their suds fizzle out, and that's no bargain. But Ivory's rich suds last about twice as long, and my hands feel so soft. You can get twice as many clean dishes in every bottle of Ivory liquid, and that's the simple truth.
Steak fajitas. Think of it as a Mexican steak sandwich.
Liver diseases don't play fair. They can hit anyone, anytime, even little kids. We need to fight back against liver disease. The American Liver Foundation is leading the way through research and prevention. Join the team. Support the American Liver Foundation.
Okay, we're back on the show now. A more pleasant situation. Brickhouse has exited, and we want to take time now for, yeah, you can clap for that too. Time now for our viewer mail segment. We have a letter, and not only a letter, but some pictures sent in this week from a young man by the name of Robbie Lott up in Trenton, Tennessee. So Jerry Lawler thought you might like to have a copy of the pictures that we took of Lawler's Army while in Trenton. The question is, how many games does your team play a year, and why did you start this team? Also, he said, thank you for coming to Trenton. And I think, do we have a shot there of... There, look at there. That was in the newspaper up there of Robbie and myself there in Trenton, and we had a great time up there. A couple of great games in Trenton. And as far as your question goes, Robbie, as to how many games we play every year, it's just a situation where we, on Sundays, my team and I usually travel to different cities around the area. to do benefit games, help raise money for different causes and things like that. And so we never know. We don't have a set schedule. I don't know exactly how many we play each year. Last year we played about, we usually play a doubleheader. So last year we played about 36 games or something like that. And we've already played several this year. As you saw, we were up in Trenton. We were just up in Osceola, Arkansas last week. And as a matter of fact, I'd like to let everybody know if there's any of the towns around the area or anybody that would like to have Lawler's Army come out to play some benefit softball games, we would be more than glad to make an appearance in your area. And all you have to do is get us your telephone number, write it on a card or letter or whatever, and be sure and address it to Lawler's Army, and just send it to the Channel 5 here, which we will give you the address. It's the same address as viewer mail, but just put Lawler's Army on there, and we'll get it, and we'll be glad to send you that information out there. Okay, Robbie, we want to thank you for writing in the letter and just for sending us that. Also, he sent me a whole book full of great pictures of us in action up there that day. Thank you for that. Show him what we're going to send to Robbie. Can we get a shot of there? It is. We're going to send Robbie one of these shirts from the show, and that's exactly what we will send to you out there if we read your letter. And all you have to, what's wrong with my face? There it is. What we will do is if we read your letter, you're going to get one of these shirts from the show. So if you have a question for any of the wrestlers, anything you'd like to know from the guys, here's where you send your letter to. The Jerry Lawler Show, 1960 Union Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee. And the zip code is, of course, 38104. And that's the exact same address you can send to. Just put Lawler's Army on there, and we'll get back in touch with you and try to line up a benefit game if you'd like to have the King's Army come into your town, play some softball. I can't believe I go out on a trip to play softball on the Sundays. That's usually my only. It's like a mailman taking a walk on his day off, and I don't know why I do that. But anyway, it's a lot of fun, and we've been doing it for years. A lot of guys on the team. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a feature in a couple of weeks on Lawler's Army with a lot of the guys that I've played ball with for years, went to high school with, and that sort of thing. Right now, what we want to do is we want to take a look at the action that's coming up at the Mid-South Coliseum tomorrow night. Are you ready for this? Big super card. Matches, of course, start at 8 o'clock. And it's a Schools Out special. All the students. We got a lot of students here in the audience with us today. Well, you can get into wrestling for only $2 tomorrow night at the Coliseum. And, of course, all the rest of the ticket prices are not raised, regular prices, no increase this week. As a matter of fact, a decrease for students, $2 to general admission. And here's the card. The first match starts at 8 o'clock, and you're going to see the Singing Cowboy, John Bass. He had to he had to stop singing because of throat problems, right, Bob? Audience threatened to cut it. I know. It's an old joke. But anyway, Don Bass is going to be going up against John Paul in the opener, and that ought to be an exciting match to get things started off with. Then a 10-round boxing match. Now, Tojo Yamamoto is going to be taking on Tony Burton, and Tojo's had all sorts of these Oriental-type matches, judo jacket matches, kendo stick matches. Well, Tony's got a good old-fashioned American match there, 10-round boxing. Maybe he'll punch Tojo's lights out there. That'd be great. Anyway, that's the second match. Then we got a return match. Alan West going against Jack Hart, and these two guys just flat out don't like each other, and they're going to get it on again down there in the third match. Looking forward to seeing that one. What about Phil Hickerson yesterday? What a jerk, huh? Oh, man, he busted poor Billy wide open there with that chair. Apparently Tojo has really got Phil Hickerson thinking just exactly like Tojo thinks right now. He's managing him. And, you know, I've had Billy tell me, he said right here on the show and tell me 100 times what a great friend he was of Phil Hickerson. Well, it didn't look like it yesterday. Anyway, Phil busted Billy. Billy's going to have a chance to get even with him tomorrow night at the Coliseum. Then we got, what do we got? Ooh, Battle of the Giants. Big Bubba going against Earthquake Ferris. I don't know about an earthquake, more of a kind of a tremor, right? What do you think? Yeah, I think Bubba can handle this guy. Anyway, Earthquake Ferris has Bruno in his corner, and I'm just looking forward to the time when Big Bubba gets his hands on downtown Bruno. That's what I want to see. Anyway, there's two big guys going to be squaring off, about 800 pounds of flesh going at each other there. Should be good. Then a Mid-America title match, the Moondog with Bruno is going to be going against Jeff Jarrett. But Jeff is going to have in his corner Big Bubba, so that should offset anything that Bruno's got in mind. And I think that most people will agree with Jeff going against the Moondog one-on-one. Who would you put your money on? Jeff. All right, well, that's what we're going to be looking for tomorrow night. Then we got an international tag title match. This should be a super match. Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka. You know, when these two guys first got together, I thought, semi-successful, but you got to give them credit. These guys have really formed a really good team. They're so quick and so agile, and Pat Tanaka, man, he's got some devastating kicks there, and they've held on to these titles for a long time now. But that may all come to a screeching halt down there tomorrow night, because I don't think they met a team like Rocky Johnson and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. These two guys should be an awesome team, and that should be a great match. So anyway, the international tag titles are at stake, and then the one that I'm really looking forward to, Bill Dundee and yours truly against Austin Idol and Brickhouse Brown. And we're going to see if Brickhouse can back up all of those big, tough words he's been shouting, and everybody knows how bad I want to get a hold of Austin Idol. We got Tommy Rich out of action. We got Paul Dangerly out of action. We got Austin Idol left, and we're looking forward to getting rid of him and doing a little number on Brickhouse Brown in the process. That's all tomorrow night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Starts at 8 o'clock, a super card. We want to see you all down there. As we said, once again, the School's Out special, all school-age children. From, gosh, I guess kindergarten all the way up through, if you've graduated this year, you will get in for only $2 to general admission. So we'll see you there tomorrow night. And we're going to see you right back here with more of the show and Mike Glenn and one of his big-time boxers right after these words.
Covington Pike Toyota, #1 Toyota dealer in 49 states, has been selected as the site for a regional tent sale. Over 1,200 new Toyota cars, trucks, and vans must be sold during this largest sales event ever. Special price concessions will be made on every new Toyota. Own any new Toyota car, truck, or van during this giant Toyota sales event for nothing down. Don't miss this opportunity to save thousands during this gigantic tent sale at Covington Pike Toyota, #1 Toyota dealer in 49 states with nothing down.
Brother Hal, folks, for Jolly Royal Furniture. What a value Jolly Royal has for you. The top-of-the-line Colonial Group 3 pieces for $6.99. And it's as comfortable as it is pretty. Loose cushions, button back, beautiful country print. The sofa, love seat, and chair, $6.99. It's worth $800 more. Oh, when you see this, your eyes are going to stick out like the ears on a swamp rabbit.
Come by Levy Auto Parts and save up to 70% on fully guaranteed used parts, plus cash refund on return parts with receipt. Levy's complete glass department offers most auto windshields for $132.50 installed. And you'll continue to receive full service and installation on all other parts at 1720 North Thomas at Levy Road, 2125 First and Airways, and 1336 North 2nd Street. Save every day at Levy Auto Parts. Open weekdays 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Open Saturdays from 8 till 3.
Imagine cruising the Caribbean aboard a beautiful Commodore cruise ship. FM 100 is giving you the chance, and all you have to do is listen Thursday morning at 7:20 for the exact time to call in and win. You'll fly to Miami aboard a spacious Delta Airlines jet. Delta gets you there with care. Your travel arrangements will be professionally handled by M&M Travel. It's Commodore's solid gold rock and roll cruise featuring the Marvels, and you might be aboard. Just listen to win on FM 100.
Okay, we're back on the show now, and have with me Mike Glenn and Greg Dixon here in the studio. Real quick, before I talk to you guys, I have something here that I wanted to mention. The fine people from the Lifeblood Mid-South Regional Blood Center wanted me to announce that the opening day of the Declaration of Independence Mall Blood Drive is going to be from 1 to 8 p.m. July 2nd at the Mall of Memphis, and the drive will continue July 3rd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Raleigh Springs Mall. So there's going to be personal appearances from a wide variety of Memphis celebrities, such as James Old Man River Hyder, the Memphis Storm, the Memphis Chicklets, and representatives from the city and county mayor's offices, and I may drop by there myself. So if you get a chance, it's a great cause. Go on out there and donate some blood during this big blood drive. And right now, what we want to talk about is boxing. There's going to be some blood flying around when this guy gets in the ring, but before I talk to you, Greg, I want to talk to Mike first. Is that all right? I want to ask your permission now. I don't want you to punch my lights out here or anything. Mike Glenn, tell us a little bit about the action that's coming up. But before we do that, I want to say congratulations. You're a proud father right away, right?
Absolutely. 7-pound, 14-ounce baby boy.
Oh, another boxer coming on the line here. Yes, you can clap for that. That's good. Tell us about the action coming up down at the Daisy.
Okay, in our main event, we've got Greg Dixon. He'll be going against Ron Johnson from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This will be Greg's first venture into a 10-round main event. We look for a good fight out of this fight. Ron Johnson is a brawler-type fighter, and Greg's, I believe, seen him fight. He was down here last year and put up a heck of a war with Reggie Barnes. We also got a rematch on this card, Rob Williamson against Randy Phillips. These two guys squared off last month. Randy Phillips felt like he won the fight, so Rob Williamson said, I'll give you a rematch and take it out on me again. So we'll see what happens there. And we've got a Guy coming up from Las Vegas, Nevada by the name of Ernie Red Lopez, which is the brother of Danny Little Red Lopez, the former featherweight champion. That this will be an added fight that we picked up about 2 weeks ago. So we got good action down there July 7th.
How many matches in all?
6 fights.
6 fights. We've done this before, but for everybody that's watching out there, every now and then I run across somebody that doesn't realize that there's professional boxing in Memphis. It's on a once-a-month basis, right?
Right. It's first Tuesday of every month at the New Daisy Theater on Bill Street. Hopefully in September we'll go back to our twice-a-month format.
Now, how can people go about obtaining tickets?
Now, they can call me down at the Daisy Theater at 525-8979 or contact Red Fortner at 353-4866.
All right, and I know a lot of people are going to be wanting to get the tickets for this big match. Greg, welcome to the show. Nice to have you here. Tell us a little bit, or what you know about Ron Johnson.
Well, least of all, I know he's a pretty tough fighter. To be sporting the name Animal, they call him Animal. It's his fight name, Animal.
Never trust a guy with the nickname of Animal. I can assure you that. What about your record? What's your record right now?
Okay, my record is now is 9-1. I have 9 knockouts.
9 knockouts.
Yeah.
Very good. Are we anticipating a knockout on the Animal?
Well, I pretty much expect to do what I do best, is knock him out.
Now, this guy, I mean, he's a brawler. I mean, that's not your style. You wouldn't be considered a brawler, would you?
Well, I do what I have to do. If I can get in there and box, I'll do that. But if you want to slug it out, I'll slug it out.
Slug it out. Okay, Greg, we want to wish you a lot of luck, and you're going to, well, hopefully you won't need it. Hopefully we'll be talking about next month that Greg knocked out the Animal, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. Mike, anything else you'd like to add? I just give this guy a nice knockout knee here in the back. Sorry about that, buddy. Anything you'd like to add before we got about 30 seconds about this match?
Currently we are working on another TV fight with Madison Square Garden's network. Hopefully it'll take place August the 13th. But we'll know a little bit more about that next month.
Okay, thank you very much, and we want to invite you back and bring Greg back again, and hopefully you get a big win down there, okay? Is that all the time we had? We got to wrap up the whole show? 25 seconds to go in the whole show? Well, we want to thank everybody for being here with us today, and as I told the studio audience, I think that we may be going back to a different format of the set, the studio. I don't know if we're going to have a studio audience anymore. Are you upset about that? Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do. But anyway, join us next week for another edition of the Jerry Lawler Show. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, big action tomorrow night at the Mid-South Coliseum. See you down there. So long, everybody.